The moving average crossover using the 12 EMA and the 26 SMA showed extreme promise in the previous testing sessions. In today's backtesting session, we're taking that research a little bit further to see if there's a correlation between extension away from the VWAP and a potential reversal. After this backtesting session, we didn't quite get the results we were looking for, but we did find a few ridiculously accurate strategies during this testing session, so make sure you stick around. What's up, team? Like I said, we're back for another crossover strategy video. We were looking for the extension level away from the VWAP to indicate a reversal here, and it seemed like a really logical thing using the VWAP in this crossover strategy. Still, sometimes when you're backtesting, you don't get quite the results you were looking for, but there's always a silver lining to take advantage of, and so that's really what happened with this specific video. Remember, if you want to help support our free content, you can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button below, and if you click the bell next to the sub button, you'll get an alert every single time we go live or drop a new video. Anyways, team, with all that said, let's take a look at these. Okay, so like I said in the intro to this video, it's been a pretty fun time adjusting to trading penny stocks, especially after this backtesting session. One of my favorite new strategies that I've been implementing and making videos on is the moving average crossover strategy using the 12 EMA and the 26 SMA. I've been having pretty solid results attacking this strategy specifically in the first 30 minutes of each market open, but after that it seems to slow down a solid amount. So what I really wanted to focus on this specific video is attacking that strategy for reversals. I've noticed that when stocks are pretty extended away from the VWAP, that volume has not followed them up, and so they're a little bit more prone to reverse, and that's something I'm really trying to test here. The way I plan to do that is to look for stocks that are extended away from the VWAP. When a stock is extended like that, it just means that volume has not followed it up, since the VWAP just stands for volume weighted average price. And so since volume hasn't followed it up, we can use the moving average crossover as a reversal indicator. So if it's extended away from the VWAP and we see the crossover happen, we can logically conclude that the stock is about to reverse back down towards the VWAP level. We can also do this on the downside for stocks that are underneath the VWAP, and so if a stock is really pushed away from the VWAP on the downside, and then we see the moving average crossover the other way, then we can use that as a signal for a reversal on the upside instead of the downside this time. And so I hope that makes sense, and that's what I'm ultimately trying to test here, to see how reliable the moving average crossover will be as a reversal indicator. Now, for any time you backtest stocks, you need to have a really obvious success and failure level to make the backtesting session valid. I think for this case, since it's a reversal strategy, if it's above the VWAP and we're looking for it to reverse on the downside, we can just use the previous high of the day as a risk level, because if it breaks that previous high of the day, we can understandably conclude that it's not going to reverse to the downside. And same thing when stocks are below the VWAP as well, we can use the previous low of the day instead, because if we want a stock to go up and reverse to the upside towards the VWAP and it breaks the previous low of the day going down, then again, we can logically conclude that it's not going to reverse back up, if that makes sense. As for the backtesting session, we're just going to use the same old I/O method we've been using, where we tally up the successes and failures, analyze the favorable conditions and stocks, and try to come to a logical conclusion about this strategy. And so with all that being said, let's take a look at these results.
Now, after reviewing the previous reversal strategy, we had some pretty disappointing results here. We had 35 total instances of this setup, which to begin with is not very much, and 19 of them were successful with 16 failures. That gives us an accuracy rate for this reversal strategy of 54%. And it kind of shows you that each backtesting session is not going to give me the greatest results, but at least it shows me that I'm backtesting in a somewhat objective way here. Another thing to consider is that the moving averages are a quote lagging indicator, and so I think sometimes when the reversal is actually happening, if I use the correct candle that the reversal actually happened on, it's a little bit too late and sometimes it just ends up faking you out. Now, as always, there's a lot of silver linings with this backtesting session because I found two specific strategies that seem to work ridiculously well and have a crazy high percentage accuracy. And so with that said, let's go over these now. The first one is looking for stocks that actually open up below the VWAP level. They need to be pretty extended below the VWAP, specifically when the opening bell happens, and then looking for the crossover within the first 5 to 10 minutes. That usually signifies a pretty nice reversal to the upside, allowing the stock to actually test the VWAP area and possibly break it. Again, the key to this strategy is just finding stocks that are opening up pretty decently below the VWAP level. And so when a stock opens well below the VWAP, since the VWAP is a volume weighted indicator, it just shows us that the stock was having a lot more voluminous moves previously in pre-market when it was much higher. And so since it's opening up with lower volume, that usually means volume did not follow it down, and thus we get a really nice spike up at the opening bell, testing the VWAP area. Again, this has showed to be extremely profitable. It happened multiple times during this backtesting session, and every single time it worked out here. And so it really had 100% accuracy with the instances that showed up during this backtesting session. Another thing that it really confirmed during this testing was that any type of crossover that happens specifically in the first 15 minutes is a home run crossover usually. I think we only had one failure here. The rest of the time it worked, and I believe it worked the other 10 times, and so a pretty high accuracy in this case. And so waiting for the crossover to happen either on the upside or downside right after the opening bell within the first 10 minutes again is a home run crossover that has an extremely high accuracy rate. And so again, just to restate what actually worked and what I found to be extremely valuable during this backtesting session, the first one is when a stock opens up well below the VWAP, which just means that volume didn't follow it down. A lot of the time when you see the crossover happen there, we get a really nice spike up, breaking the previous high of the day, and the stock usually runs up a solid amount, so you can have a nice winning trade from it. This is probably the most interesting thing that I found during this backtesting session, and it's definitely something that I would like to test moving forward. The other one was really just confirming that any crossover that happens specifically in that first 1 to 15 minutes after the opening bell, it turns out to work really well either on the upside or downside. And so again, this is just confirming what I previously thought here. I guess the big overarching conclusion that we found out here is that it doesn't really matter how extended the stock is away from the VWAP if we're talking about the crossover after the first 30 minutes. It usually just ends up chopping us out, but if we can attack it in the first 15 minutes especially, and specifically looking for stocks that open up well below the VWAP and then reverse, again, that can be a really nice home run trade that I'm definitely going to start trading next week.
Alright team, so that's it for this video. Like I always say, sometimes there's a silver lining in there, and even though we didn't quite get the results we were looking for, we still found a few really profitable strategies that we could potentially emulate with our own trading. Hopefully these work out well. I'm going to try these on our stream next week, and so if you want to see how I do trading these specific strategies, make sure you join us right here on YouTube every weekday morning for free while we day trade live using UStockTrade, Thinkorswim, and a bunch of other platforms so you can see what it's like for a new trader getting started in the market. As always guys, if you want to help support our channel, you can find us in Trader Mike's Discord. It's an extremely active and profitable Discord with a really talented group of traders. I'm always hanging out there talking about strategies, plays, stocks, plus more, and like I said, it's probably the most active Discord I've been to, and so if you want to check that out, hang out with us. I'll include a link to Trader Mike's in the description below. You can also check out our very own Discord, which again, if you want to hang out with us and do stuff like that, I'll include that one below as well. As always, if you want to help support our free content, you can check out Webull. It has 0 commissions, free paper trading, you get a free stock for signing up, and then another free stock if you deposit $100, and it has free options trading as well, and a lot of other good stuff with it. And so like I said, it's a great way to help support our channel, and if you want to get those free stocks, I'll include a link in the description for you to check out. Hopefully you can use what I'm teaching you here to figure out what works for you so you can start building your own system with trading. Remember to backtest these strategies yourself to make sure you like them and they work for you specifically. Good luck in the markets, guys, and I hope you'll join us live on stream like we do every weekday morning on YouTube. Come watch us trade and hang out with us every single weekday morning. And again, you can hit the sub button and click the bell if you want to get that alert every time we go live. Thanks for watching, team. We'll see you all next time.